Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you this special bulletin. Today is a sad day, a truly, truly sad day, at least for content creators, for it has been announced that there will be no Acolyte Season 2. Oh, the horror, the agony, such a travesty of justice, and I can't keep going with that such a straight face. Anyway, this report coming in from That Park Place, Leslie Headlands. The Acolyte canceled after abysmal finale ratings? Say it ain't so, John. Say it ain't so. Deadline's Nelly and Driver reported, quote, the story of the Acolyte will not continue. Oh no. Anyway, with Lucasfilm opting not to proceed with a second season of the Star Wars offshoot starring Amanda Stenberg. Sources tell Deadline this report comes in the wake of Nielsen releasing its data for the week of Acolyte series finale aired. The show only managed to garner 335 million minutes watched. Half of that was YouTube content creators forcing themselves to get through such an abysmal TV series just so they can talk about it and, well, let you know what was good, not much, and what was terrible most of the episode. That was less than the 2-episode premiere, which brought in 488 million minutes watched. And I want to question those numbers because, yeah, Disney reports their numbers in a very much so, trust me, bro, kind of information. Nielsen's viewership numbers reflect a significant decline in reviews per episode of the series on IMDb. The first episode received 26,000 reviews, while the finale only received 11,000. Now that is definitely more of an indication, a metric you can judge. The less people judging, the less people reviewing it and giving their opinion, giving the scores on IMDb. You had something I noticed. They had a lot of people that got the first 4 episodes early so they could talk about it early. And a couple of the channels that I found, they reviewed the first 4 episodes and then absolutely nothing else after that. And they were giving glowing reviews of the first 4 episodes. And I'm just wondering, if you're so excited, if you love this show so much, why didn't you see it to the end? Unless, of course, you're simply shilling for that good old access media. But, what do I know? Not only did the show receive poor viewership, but those who did watch it did not like it. Well, that's because it got progressively worse. Plot holes, plot contrivance, poor writing, poor acting, nonsensical story, nonsensical actions taken by characters that made absolutely no sense based on what they did previous in the season. The show has a 4.1 out of 10, which is too generous, with the plurality 45.8% of all reviews being a 1 out of 10. I wonder how many of those were a 10 out of 10. Oh, we got it right here. Sorry, I didn't get ahead. My goodness, those filthy review bombers, how could they? How did I skip so far ahead? Nasty, nasty review bombers going to IMDb just to give it a 1. Report also confirms a rumor from WDW Pro, who indicated that Lucasfilm would not be moving forward with the show at the end of July. Now, what on earth does that do to the Star Wars universe, the actual Disney canon, despite the fact that we all know how much disrespect that Disney gave towards anything that George Lucas put out or the expanded universe put out, characters beloved by so many people, I'm not calling it legends, across the world, and yet you just kind of shat all over it. It's an open-ended story. There's probably no reason whatsoever to even consider it canon, especially since it came off as nothing more than fan fiction. Let's keep going. Let's see. He said at the time, quote, said source tells me that Leslie Headland does not, as of right now, have a contract for a season 2. She should be fired anyway for such abysmal writing. Said source tells me that following the finale of season 1 and the results that may have been coming in weeks ahead, this decision may have been coming in weeks ahead of what? Hold on. Said source tells me that following the finale of season 1 and the results that may have been coming in weeks ahead, this decision may have been coming in the weeks ahead of the finale. Oh, that's what he meant, in the weeks ahead, this decision. Okay, there are no current plans to develop a season 2. That is genuinely such a shame because, morbid curiosity, I wanted to know how much worse could it possibly get. Pro added, That could change, of course, because Kathleen Kennedy has got her head so far up her ass. She's so desperate to get something out there because the first is female. She wants to end on a high note. Kathleen Kennedy can always make that decision as long as she has a contract, which we believe she has a contract up until October of this year. And it may be continued past that. Please, no, just rip the Band-Aid off. Get rid of Kathleen Kennedy. She's a failed leader at Lucasfilm. Regardless of what she's done in the past, she has been in charge of Lucasfilm with one failure after another, after another, after another. Regardless of how much of a hand that she had in it, she is the CEO of Lucasfilm. When you have continuous failures, whether it's the box office or Disney Plus, which is losing billions of dollars anyway, then you take the fall as the leader. That's it. Time for her to go, if only. The problem is there's so many people that need to go with her. The ideological activist individuals that are in the company, that are embedded in Lucasfilm, they have to go too. And unfortunately, I don't see that happening even with Kathleen Kennedy gone. Let's see, which we'll be leaving in October. And it may be continued past that, but that's when the current contract would end. That would probably be the only thing. Her contract is up in October and they just may not renew it. It will be definitely interesting. We got a couple of months, month and a half, before we get any more news with that. Kathleen Kennedy could go ahead and approve that, but as of right now, we are told there are no plans, no movements, and there is nothing in development for a season 2 of The Acolyte. Boo-hoo. I bet the shills are crying right now. What a shame. Or, just like everybody else, they've moved on. They've got into the stage of ignoring The Acolyte and whatever nonsensical story it was trying to push forward and moved on to shilling for Skeleton Crew because, and Mandalorian and Grogu, which is an absolutely abysmal title for anything, much less a movie or even a TV show. How? Who is in the room? I want to hear that pitch meeting. I can't wait. I can't wait to hear that video, that pitch meeting video. It's going to be fantastic. How do you pitch that name for a movie? The Mandalorian and Grogu. That's a Star Wars title. Let's go. He concluded, my source tells me that everything in season 1 indicates that they plan on doing a season 2, especially with the way the show ends. Terribly. But as of right now, that continuation of the story seems to be on indefinite hold, indefinite pause. Oh, what a shame. The show performed extremely poorly compared to previous Star Wars Disney Plus series. I think they were getting progressively worse as each series came out. I believe Book of Boba Fett, starting with Kenobi, then Book of Boba Fett, then Mandalorian Season 2. Oh, no, not Season 2, Season 3. And what was after that? Oh, yeah, Ahsoka. I forgot about that, too. Just getting progressively worse and worse. Let's see. Oh, it's right here, including Ahsoka and/or the best Disney Star Wars show that no one watched. Obi-Wan Kenobi, Book of Boba Fett, and The Mandalorian. Ahsoka's final finale back in October 2023 saw its viewership hit 575 million minutes. Acolyte's final viewership is 41% less than Ahsoka. Wow. Yep. That's terrible. Andor's finale brought in 674 million minutes watched, and people shat all over that series left, right, and center. Acolyte's viewership is over 50% less. My goodness gracious me. So we got now it's known. Each Disney Plus Star Wars show season finale draws lower viewership than the one before. So we got Book of Boba Fett, season finale. No, we got Mandalorian, season 3 finale. But, not including, okay, Book of Boba Fett, 885, Obi-Wan, 860. I don't think those two numbers there's nothing to sneeze at, but still, getting progressively lower. Andor, 674, Ahsoka, 575. And, of course, Acolyte being 41% less than Ahsoka. Oh, man. And yet, the Acolyte was praised over and over again. Just the fantastic this, the greatest that. Oh, all the praise that it got, and yet it was continuously getting less and less viewership minutes. What on earth is going to happen with all this? Down at the bottom, I want to skip down to head to the bottom. Now that the Acolyte has been scrapped, the next big question is if Lucasfilm will pull a Willow and impair the charges and yank the entire series off of Disney Plus. And that is an interesting thought. Could they do this with one of their essentially flagship TV shows? Willow was something, I guess, an attempt at revitalizing the love for an old movie. This is Star Wars. It's something like you spent billions of dollars on the Star Wars name, on the Star Wars IP, and then, of course, flushed it all down the toilet and burned a stack of money like the Joker. But I don't see that happening, regardless of bandwidth or the cost to keep it in residuals, if that's even possible. Do you actually think, given how bad the Acolyte is, and even more so, the fact that it was supposed to be essentially moving into a second season, now that it is no longer getting a second season, is it possible that they pull it so that people don't watch it and then wonder what happened, or wonder what's going to happen and how the Acolyte fits into the grand scheme of the Disney Star Wars universe? I wonder. That would actually be a good question. So, well, let me know what you think. Are you sad? Are you disappointed? I actually am. I was hoping for a season 2. I wanted to see just how much more they could destroy with Yoda, with Darth Plagueis, and actually curious as to where the actual story was going to go. I didn't think it was going to be good, but I'm a glutton for punishment. Why would I want to watch something? Why else would I want to watch something so terrible every single week? But let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Leave a like, leave a dislike, do all those nifty little things that YouTubers beg you to do, and I hope to see you on the next one.